Welcome into PFF HQ. Austin Gayle here with senior analyst Mike Renner. We're talking pass rush rankings, specifically the top half of the list. You wrote, blessed PFF.com with those words, and we're going to start talking with some notables in this top half. Starting with the Chiefs, coming in at number 15. This pass rush needs to make up for some coverage woes we expect from them, but they have some talent there to finish in the top half.
Yeah, it was the best pass rushing team in the NFL per our grading last season, but you just can't ignore how much they lost. Dee Ford, 78 pressures. Justin Houston, 89-plus pass rushing grade last season. You're just not going to be able to effectively replace that in 2019, even though they did add Frank Clark. That's only replacing one of those guys. Still lost a lot from that pass rushing unit, but I do think Chris Jones, the interior, what we've seen from him over the course of his career, that improvement, 76.3 grade as a rookie, 83.1 in 2017, 91.5 last season. If he keeps on that trajectory, he might break 100.
Absolutely.
We'll
I love Chris Jones. I love Frank Clark. But I think what doesn't get spoke to enough is losing Justin Houston. Yes, he's a little bit older, but he really produced for them last year. I think it was an underrated signing for the Indianapolis Colts. Going to another team that it finished in this top half, the Green Bay Packers added a ton of pass rushing talent, both in the draft and in free agency, to address this, and I think that helped them get to this ranking.
Yeah, I think what they did in free agency is the big one to me. Because Rashawn Gary, first-round pick, I'm not sure how much he's necessarily going to make an impact year one from what we saw from his college grading. If you follow us here at PFF at this point, you know our thoughts on him. But Zadarius Smith, to me, is the big wild card here because his 2018 season was a distinct outlier from the course of his career. Now, guys do improve. Everyone's learning curve is different, but he didn't have 40 pressures in a single season his first 3 years in the NFL. Had 60 last year. Big improvement, big leap in his play. Can he maintain it, or can he go even farther than that, or will he regress to the guy we saw earlier in his career? They paid him a lot of money. He better be the guy they thought they would be.
Yeah, Zadarius Smith and Preston Smith both have high expectations to live up to, and I think that's something to look for in 2019. Now, we talked on some notables in this top half. I want to go into the top 5 on this list, starting with number 5, J.J. Watt and the Houston Texans.
Yeah, no surprise here with that edge duo, arguably the best in the NFL. J.J. Watt moved pretty much to a full edge defender last season, tried to keep him healthy, was that left defensive end for them. Back to not to his best, but back to elite level play, definitely. And then Jadeveon Clowney, the sort of movable chess piece on that front. I think that was when they figured out that moving him along the defensive line of scrimmage is the best use for him, not just keeping him out and rushing off the edge, because that's not necessarily his best skill set. When he goes inside and just attacks and takes on guards, he was dominant last season, so this is definitely a top 5 group in the NFL.
The same thing happens for J.J. Watt and Jadeveon Clowney. This is a top pass rush. If Whitney Merciless can come back and be a good pass rusher, this thing goes to a whole nother level. Going to number 4, we're talking the Los Angeles Chargers, who also came in at number 4 on our secondary rankings. This is a very, very good pass defense. They have Jerry Tillery, Joey Bosa, Melvin Ingram. There is so much to like about this Bolts D.
And now they add, like I said, Jerry Tillery to that mix. I think the most important thing I'm going to be looking for, what I think he adds most to this mix, is their third down packages. Jerry Tillery had the highest pass rushing grade on stunts last year at Notre Dame of any player in the country. He is a weapon in terms of his athleticism, his strength, his length at attacking those tackles on those twists. They're going to do a lot of that in LA this season with the Chargers. You line him up on the same side as Bosa, same side as Ingram. Let those guys stunt. It's just going to be a nightmare for offensive linemen to pick up.
I just love the Chargers defense. They play a ton of dime and get Gus Bradley's scheme, and they have enough defensive back talent to do it. And now you factor in a top 5 pass rush in the NFL. This is a scary good defense for the Chargers. Going to number 3, the Cleveland Browns. They added Olivier Vernon this offseason. Myles Garrett is looking like a future Hall of Famer. I know it's early, but this guy is off to a great start. I think this pass rush with Sheldon Richardson too is going to be incredible in 2019.
I think we're going to look at this as the most improved pass rush of any team in the NFL. Olivier Vernon was back to his best last season. Now I know he doesn't rack up the sack totals, but he was very effective at getting pressure there when healthy last season with the Giants. Sheldon Richardson, a bit of a down year, but we've seen him have very quality seasons in the past. And there's a big upgrade still for them in terms of what they have along that interior, what they had along that interior last season in Cleveland. And then, like I said, Myles Garrett, what I'm looking for him in year 3, the fact that he was only allowed to use 2 pass rushing moves last year, you open up that full tool set. He's got as much tools as anyone in the NFL. It's going to be scary for opposing offenses.
And Sheldon Richardson's a question mark. I agree. He's had some down years. He's inconsistent. But I think when you saw his best back in New York with Muhammad Wilkerson playing really well and that pass rush overall playing well, that defense being at a high level. He wasn't the guy that they were double teaming all the
Exactly.
time. He wasn't a focal point. Now in this Browns D, he's not going to be a focal point again. Can slide under the radar as a very good pass rushing player in that defense. Going to number 2, Jacksonville Jaguars. They have a guy I'm in love with in Yannick Ngakoue. This guy is very, very talented pass rusher. Not a great run defender, but what he does as a pass rusher is incredible. And then in addition to that, you have Calais Campbell, a very good pass rushing unit.
Yeah, I think, and they also had Josh Allen in the draft, one
right.
of our favorite pass rushers. And it's crazy because with the way Calais Campbell, with his versatility, they played a lot on the edge last season because they needed him there. But he can just as easily kick inside, play 3 technique, fill the role.
Yeah.
That Malik Jackson is leaving, and that leaves Josh Allen. He can play a full season's worth of snaps. You don't have to sort of shoehorn him in there. You still have this defensive front that can get him 800, 900 snaps if he's effective. So I do think that this Jacksonville Jaguars defense is still going to be a scary pass rush.
Yeah, Josh Allen off the edge with Calais Campbell kicked inside, and then Yannick Ngakoue on the opposite end is a very, very good look for the Jaguars pass rush. Going to number 1, and this team finished number 1 in our offensive line rankings, and now they finished number 1 in our pass rush rankings. This is a very good trenches for the Philadelphia Eagles. We love their pass rush. We obviously love Fletcher Cox. Talk to me about them.
Yeah, Cox, 95 pressures a season ago. He collapses every single pocket that he basically, play after play after play, that guard is going to be 5 to 6 yards deep in the backfield, and it's going to be tough for opposing quarterbacks. Nowhere to step up. Easy for those guys off the edge to clean up those sacks. He makes it so easy on them. I'm looking for Derek Barnett in year 3. We've seen flashes of it.
Yep.
Has had some injuries here in the NFL. I think fully healthy. I think this could be the year he flips that switch. And then the rich get richer. They had Malik Jackson in free agency. Now he's not a run defender, but he can still attack the passer. Like they can send it at you from so many different ways. Eagles still the best pass rush in the NFL.
And Brandon Graham too. And you go back to Derek Barnett, he's shown flashes at Tennessee. He graded really well in the pass rush. So I think he's a guy that if he takes a step forward and you have Brandon Graham, Fletcher Cox, Malik Jackson, again, so much talent on that defense for them not to fail.
Exactly.
For more content like this, go ahead and subscribe to PFF's YouTube channel or check out the article on the site at pff.com.